All right, let's talk about Duke now, Tate. I promised you if you were a good boy and waited long enough, we would get to talk about it. Full disclosure, I want to say this off the top.
Yeah.
Didn't watch this game. I
Mm.
was busy. I had something going on, and I could not watch the game. But the only reason I knew Duke was on upset alert was Kevin Clark, Miami grad, former Ringer colleague, texted the both of us, Miami basketball's back. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? I didn't even realize Miami was playing Duke, which is how out of the loop I am on ACC basketball, which we can talk about in a second. But here are the three things that I pulled from the game, having not watched it. Number one, what the hell? Coach K did some backstretch after the game that looked like demons were coming out of it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You saw the video? Or
I saw it live. I mean, he is who we thought he was.
There was that. There was I saw that JJ Redick apparently at halftime shot a free throw.
JJ was so I had a source. One of our friends of the program, was at the game scouting, and he literally texted me at the start of the game and was like, "JJ is here with his whole family," you know. And then I was like, "That's cool, you know. We'll see what happens. Like, fingers crossed, you know. JJ curse incoming." And then he had a charity free throw at halftime, and he missed it. It's like a 95%.
Did you see this, Jim? Did you see JJ Redick had a free throw?
He threw it. That's how bad of a guy. Like, I was talking, like, my scout who was on the ground, who was texting me, I was like, you know who is like, you know, who needs to have the bad boy come back a little bit, you know? It's JJ. He's too much of a good guy now. And like missing a charity
you're right.
free throw.
He was a villain, goes to the NBA,
becomes like the nicest guy.
Becomes a nice guy,
him.
starts the podcast. People love the podcast.
Yeah.
You're right. He does need to like I think it's going to come back. I think now that he's on ESPN, he's going to start because he'll go on First Take and mix it up with Stephen A. and stuff. Yeah.
He's kind of like the actor that played Draco Malfoy, you know? It's like you loved him when he was evil, but then you learn he's like this really sweet guy and you're kind of pulling for him. But, you know, he needs to go back to playing an evil character, you know? And then we'll all be like, that's the guy we know.
JJ, what was his free throw percentage in college? So in Cameron State,
had to be like 95. Had to be. Maybe
his sophomore year, he shot 95.3%. His career, he was the 90 in college. I don't know what it was in the pros. Who cares? 91%.
Yeah, 91% for career.
Free throw percentage for his career.
Seems right.
Had a free throw to win $1,000 for a children's hospital.
Did he miss it on purpose? That's the question, because I think that would be a smart move, branding.
Miami's uniforms were disgusting. I love those things.
The big. I thought you were saying that you didn't like them for a second, but you're saying like they're fire. They are unbelievable. In fact, when they tweeted like 2 hours before the game, they were wearing those uniforms, and I texted my brother. I was like, man, I feel really good about Miami today. And Duke was so unassuming about this game because, as we know, Miami's the most disrespected program in basketball, so Duke was overlooking them a little bit.
Tell me what I missed. How did this happen? Why did this happen? Are we worried about Duke? Are we worried about the farewell tour? Is the farewell tour dead? Do people care?
No, I think that the people were locked in now. I mean, the real answer to this game was, I mean, turnover. If you want to be actual basketball about it, I mean, Duke turned the ball over 20 times in this game. I think it was 17 actually, but basically 20 times. And Charlie Moore was the star of the, you know, guy comes from DePaul, Chicago native. You know, Coach K is a Chicago native, as we know, big Chicago basketball guy. And Charlie Moore gets 7 steals in this game. And they try to get him on a BS foul to get him out of the game late, you know, as we are prone to do in Cameron Indoor. But still, Larinaga takes him out. He comes back in and plays with 4 fouls and gets the win. So shout out to Charlie Moore. That was, I mean, an amazing game by him. Isaiah Wong was also great in this game. Wendell Moore had a shot there at the end. He had a 3-point look that, you know, was a good look. Coach K said he liked the look. Did not go in, and that was pretty much that. Paulo Banchero turned on. I mean, late in this game, Duke made their classic push where they got the lead, and you think, oh, they've shored this thing up.
Yeah.
But just like that, Miami still fighting, still clawing, still scratching. I mean, they just gave a great effort. Duke did not really expect them to keep fighting. I think that they kind of got up on them again, you know, at the end, and we're like, all right, we've handled these guys. But Charlie Moore was the star of the show.
Well, I think I'm going to need you to do an ACC update throughout the year because I've realized that the Coach K farewell tour comes down to this. Duke has to win the regular season ACC.
2 games back in the ACC right now.
They have to win it.
They're 2 games back, and they lost to Miami, who's in.
I'm not even saying this for shtick. This would be one of the great disappointments.
He's coming back if they don't win the ACC.
This would be one of the great disappointments in Coach K's career if Duke does not win the regular season ACC title. In his final year, when they are the only ranked team in the conference and so much better than everybody, and what was it last week that I said people were floating the idea of the ACC being a one-bid league.
Yeah.
It's not, but the fact that that's where people are at, we're like, it's Duke and then everyone else. If they can't win the league this year, that's where we have to go with the farewell tour. That's all eyes are on that, because otherwise I'm worried that the farewell tour is dead in the sense that there's no reason to watch Duke play at all between now and opening day of March Madness. I think that's the only reason to tune back in. And I don't want to live in that world. I need a reason to keep watching. I need a reason to stay locked in on what Coach K is up to. But if they're playing at Wake Forest, I think. Is it tonight or tomorrow?
I think it's tomorrow.
Big game. In terms of one of the harder games that they're going to have on their schedule, Wake Forest is one of the better teams in the ACC.
And Wake Forest is in the same position as Duke in the standings. Yeah. 2 games back.
And my point is, Tate, that we have to find a reason to get locked back in, and it's going to have to be the ACC race. So I'm going to need you to give me handicap the ACC race. Is Miami the favorite now?
Duke still has to be the favorite. I mean, there's no way that they're not the favorite.
The undefeated team that just beat Duke at Duke.
Look, I just said they're the most disrespected.
I'm arguing.
I said they're the most disrespected team in basketball, and I will continue disrespecting them. I mean, Miami, Louisville are the top 2 teams in the ACC. Then you got North Carolina, Notre Dame. I don't think North Carolina is going to win the ACC, but if Armando Bacot keeps playing, who knows? I mean, that was an inspiring performance. It was actual Carolina basketball, so gave me a little bit more hope in this team that I'd already lost at the Notre Dame game. So, but Duke is the favorite. I think Duke is like minus 500 to win the ACC, even though they're 2 games back right now.
Okay.
Because Miami's going to probably lose to Florida State. I mean,
Florida State's out. Who are the contenders? Tell the people who could realistically, if it's not Duke, who's gonna win the regular season ACC title? Miami has to be on that list.
Miami's on the list. Louisville's on the list. Carolina's on the list. Duke's on the list. Notre Dame's on the list. Wake's on the list.
Notre Dame's not on the list. Get Notre Dame off the list.
I think if you look at the ACC, it's Duke.
Virginia Tech?
Dude, Virginia Tech is 0-3 in the ACC. They are Georgia Tech. The only team worse than Virginia Tech in the ACC right now is Georgia Tech, who is 0-4 in the ACC. So Mr. November and Josh Pastner both at the bottom. NC State also at the bottom. Syracuse is 1-3 in the ACC. They were supposed to make some noise, be a tournament team. Don't see that happening unless things drastically turn around. Clemson, if that's your sort of thing, maybe you're interested in Clemson. I think Brunell's on the hot seat as always.
Virginia,
I mean, they got smacked by Carolina.
I know they're not good, but what? I mean,
they're still.
Is there a world where Virginia just?
There's a world, of course. I mean, I think they have some talented players. They just don't have a big.
Yeah,
they don't have a big.
All right. There's your ACC update.
Yeah, there it is.
It's still Duke versus the field, you're saying.
I cannot believe that Coach K summoned a demon in front of everybody. But I also think it's necessary, you pull out all the stops when it's your last season. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that's really hit me a little bit, is that Coach K might not be coming back. As much as I keep telling myself he is, maybe I'm in denial. I'm like talking myself in circles with Coach K. But that moment when he, and you see me do that. I got back problems. So, I mean, I was like, okay. But that wasn't a back problem fix. That was let's summon some mojo in this building because we got to win. Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.